and this is for John L. Sullivan. John L. Sullivan, this guy right here, is a boxer. Was a boxer. He was really manly, and that was kind of his entire shtick. That this was a person whose entire career was based on masculinity and toughness, a very specific kind of masculinity. And the reason this was in demand and got him famous was that America had just finished with the frontier portion of its history. It was early 1900s, we had just settled all of the land that we had access to, we had just industrialized all over the place, we were getting factories, we were getting, upper class people were settling into jobs in banks and places like that, and there weren't any more of the cowboys that we saw in the past. Which was kind of a problem for the American psyche overall, because, according to page 8 from Idols of the Game, America's image of itself was based on the muscle and know-how of bold, lusty white men who had invaded and tamed a wilderness with gun and plow. Sorry, it's hard to read this backwards. So when this frontier was gone, America started panicking a little bit just about, they didn't know what their national identity was gonna be anymore if it wasn't this rugged wilderness of cowboys and bold, lusty white men who beat all of their problems into submission with their strength and Americanness. And the alternative that was coming up didn't seem too appealing. Also on page 8, the quote states, I'm just gonna read it, "Without sweaty, dangerous work, middle and upper-class white men were becoming nervous, slovenly, and slothful, dragged down by over-civilization and conspicuous consumption," which is from page 8. So Americans were looking for somebody who could counteract this. They wanted somebody to pit against the ideal of over-civilization. And this is where John L. Sullivan came in. He was exactly what they wanted. They wanted male heroes, white heroes, local heroes, page 7, and here was a white Irish brawler from Boston, that he was relatable, he was local, he was definitely not rich, he was a man that everybody could relate to, and most importantly, he demonstrated masculinity as toughness, the way that it used to be in the Old West. He demonstrated his masculinity by punching things and beating people up, which was exactly what people wanted to see, which was a lot of why he got so very famous, was that he represented what people wanted to believe about their country and themselves. And in the ups and downs of his career, he was advocating for this lifestyle in his own way, that with his successes, when he was winning, it looked like masculinity as toughness was winning, that this approach to your life worked. And when he had his entire physical breakdown, it looked like maybe that didn't work so well. And when he did have his comeback match again, he said, oh yes, it does work after all. So you can see the way the peaks and dips in his career meant peaks and dips for the role of this philosophy in America, which continues to show in later athletes, which you will see in the next videos.